Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Welcome to the class on Charis. Charis are an important part of the technical expertise in the art, and NATYASHASTRA has elaborately dealt with them. At the same time, it is important for us to know the different perception in some areas, if not all, in the Nartanadhyaya. Sharangdeva defines Chari as the one that is constituted of beautiful movements of the feet, shanks, thighs and hip performed simultaneously. The Sanskrit verbal root is chara, which is to move, and the suffix e is added in the instrumental sense. Please refer shlokas 897 to 901 in the text, where it's given this Chari has relevance to the gates and is variously used based on the suitability for the idea expressed like the hand poses or the hastas. In Angika Abhinaya, the Charis desirable for the particular foot positions have to be executed. Generally, it is the first Chari that determines how the following ones are to be performed. And this is what gives Chari the additional name Vyayama, meaning interdependence between the units. The varieties of Vyayamas are Chari, Karana, Khanda and Mandala. The one that is performed with one foot movement alone is Chari, while the one which requires both the feet is Karana. One has to remember that here we are not referring to Nritta Karanas. 3 Karanas constitute a Khanda and 3 to 4 Khandas constitute a Mandala, depending on whether Trayashra or Chaturashra Thala is employed. The shlokas 902 to 916 gives the names of all Charis in Marga and Deshi. The Chari requiring one foot for action is of two kinds, namely Bhavami or earthly and Akashiki or aerial. Both are 16 each in Marga variety. Together, Deshi Charis are 54 in number, and the sum total of all the Charis according to Nartanadhyaya are 86. The Marga type Charis are defined in the shlokas 917 till 971. The Bhavami or the earthly Charis, some of them are like the Samapada Chari. A few words about it is in the standing posture and the feet close together with toenails on the same level, that is Samapada Sthana or posture, which is useful as the starting of a movement and is also considered among the sthanas as one posture. Sthitavarthachari, the second one, Sharangdeva explains, is one foot in Agratala Sanchara moves to cross the other, thus forming a swastika with the knee turned inwards in Agratala Sanchara. The other foot is separated and then brought to its own side. This way the swastika is formed and then released. Shakatasya Shari. One foot in Agratala Sanchara is stretched forward with the chest raised and upper part of the body straight and stretched. Literally, this means throwing forward the cart. It is by using this that one can throw forward a cart with the body pushed forward with one leg and other knee kept straightened. Vichyavachari, from Samapada, the feet lifted up and front part of it brought down heavily. The toes are stamped Kuttana this way after alternately lifting the feet and landing on the floor. Adyarthikachari. Left foot placed near the heel of the right foot drawn away to its own side crosswise at a distance of 1.5 thala or span and vice versa. Adhyartika has oblique or slanting foot movements and is repeated the same way when the right foot is placed at the heel of the left foot. We can notice this movement in many of the classical styles. On close observation, Kathak uses Samapada a lot, Bharatanatyam Shakatasya and Urudvrita among others, and Manipuri and Mohiniyattam use Adhyartika and Chasagati in Kuchipudi, while Odissi uses Baddha. Some of the charis are also seen in folk traditions, while others are out of vogue. Chasagata chari. Right foot put forward by a span, then drawn back by two spans. Both feet joined together through a jump and separated and then move towards each other. Sharangdeva says that this will be useful to depict movements in fear. Edaka Kridita chari. After a slight jump, the 2 feet in Agratala Sanchara are put down one after the other with a spring-like action. Again, it is noticed that the toes are placed usually. Samotsarita Mattali chari. The term Mattali would mean intoxication. 1 foot in Agratala Sanchara kept behind the other, making swastika at the shank. Then the other foot is made Agratala, and the feet with this movement creates circles that expand and contract. Kunchita must be used to drag the foot that is released from the cross position. Mattali chari. The feet are kept with the entire soles on the ground. They are crossed in swastika obliquely at the shanks. With a circular movement, they come together or move away from each other. Again, this is useful to depict an intoxicated person. Utspandita chari. Spanda means falling down carelessly. The foot moves in slow speed, gracefully touching the ground with the little toe and the big toe alternately front and back. Some say that Rechita or Ardharechita hands are to be used with this. Addita chari. In Agratala Sanchara, 1 foot is rubbed against the front and back of the other foot that is kept in Samapada. This is repeated alternately. Spandita chari. Here, the thigh is nishanna or motionless. The right foot is stretched out obliquely up to 5 spans and the left foot is in Samapada. Avaspandita chari. The above Spandita chari, when performed with the right foot in Sama and the left foot stretched out similarly, is called as Avaspandita. Baddha chari. The thighs make Valana movement, that is bent inwards with the shanks crossed. Releasing the swastika, circular movements are made with the toes of 1 foot on the ground while the other is resting on its sole and bringing each foot to its side. Janita chari. 1 foot is in Agratala Sanchara, 1 hand of the same side is in Mushti at the chest level, and the other hand of the foot, which is in Sama, Parshva or Trayashra, and on its sole, moving beautifully. Sharangdeva says that although hand movements are recommended for some, charis should give more importance to the foot movement, that is the gait. Urudvrita chari. The heel of 1 foot in Agratala Sanchara is placed facing the back of the other foot, or it is the other way. One of the shanks with knee bent and turned inwards faces the other. It is employed to show shyness and jealousy. All these charis are known to be used extensively in wrestling, portrayal, in the Angaharas of Nritya, and in the dramatic aspects of the Natya. The NATYASHASTRA describes them as having been based on the eternal Vedas, the popular Natya Veda. The aerial charis or the Akashiki. Atikranta. Kunchita foot on one side is raised to the ankle of the other and moderately put forward, as is raised in a natural manner at a distance of 4 or 5 spans and made to land on the ground. Apakranta chari. After performing the Baddha chari in the Valana posture, the Kunchita foot is thrown up and down at its own side. This is also alternately repeated on the other. Parshvakranta. 1 Kunchita foot is raised upon its own side and brought down on the ground by the heel Anchita. This is well known as Parshvadandapada and also called Parshvakranta. According to some, there is a variation that the foot must be raised to the level of the other thigh and then brought down as Udgattita. Mrigaplutachari, denoting the darting deer or the action of a Vidushaka or clown, is the Mrigaplutachari. In this, one Kunchita foot is thrown up with a jump and brought down to the ground. The other is kept in Anchita, also raised and brought at the back of the shank of the former. Urdhvajanu, throw up one foot in Kunchita with its knee in level with the chest, with the other foot motionless. In this chari, the foot on the ground is steady in Mandala Sthana. Alata chari, one foot in Kunchita Pada is stretched back with its sole facing the other thigh. Its heel is brought to the ground on its own side. It is done with the steady foot with its knee bent as Parshva. Suchi, Kunchita foot thrown up with the shanks stretched to the knee or thigh. After this, the foot falls on the ground, landing on the fore part, that is tip of the toes. Nupurapadika chari, one Anchita foot is brought backwards to touch the hips with its heel, and rising the shank, let it fall on the ground on the toes. Dolapada, raising one Kunchita foot and swinging it from side to side and placing it by the heel on the same side. The other foot can be in Trayashra or Parshva to look aesthetic. Dandapada, here the movement is particularly swift. The leg is stretched like a stick or a danda. One foot, as in Nupurapada chari from the back, is placed at the heel of the other and then stretched forward quickly. Here the tip of the knee should be facing the body by being close to the body. Vidyut Bhranta, Vidyut means lightning. This is performed by whirling and throwing the limbs in all directions as sharply as possible. In this, one foot is stretched up to the head from the back and turned round with wide stretches. Brahmari, the foot performs the Atikranta chari. The oblique thigh is twisted around and the whole body rotates through the turning of the sole of the other foot. Bhujangatrasita, one Kunchita is raised up near the root of the other thigh and makes the heel face the hips. Thereafter the knee moves to its own side, the sole of the foot upturned due to the turning of the waist and the knee. This indicates by the meaning of the term that one is running away in fear of snakes. Sharandeva says that graceful movements of the limbs are an integral part of charis. Charis are to be done in Nritta, Natya and the gaits by the learned and are indispensable in fights and wrestling. He says that according to the context, one has to use the hand movement or hasta or the foot movement or pada, whichever is important at the first place, followed by the other. Whenever they are equally essential, they can be simultaneously used. The next shloka is given in the form of a popular proverbial statement that in accordance with the foot, one's hand must move, and according to the hand, one's hips must move. And the learned say that angas and upangas should always follow the foot movements. Whenever the charis are predominant, the uses of the other limbs should be in this manner. When the hastas are important, the other limbs should only follow that. The hand makes various movements and is placed on the waist as if it rests just like the foot moves repeatedly in the chari and then rests on the ground. In Natya, the hand has to rest with the Ardha Chandra hasta, while in Nritta, the hand may be either Pakshvanchitaka or Paksha Pradyotaka. The place of resting is always the region of the waist. The other earthly Deshi charis are, please note that the Nartana Adhyaya gives us 35 Deshi charis as well. The shlokas 972 to 1000 give us information on the earthly Deshi charis. Some of them are Rata Chakra, which is if in the Chaturashra posture, which is a Deshi Sthanaka, the 2 feet are kept on the ground and then made to fall either forwards or backwards, it is called as Rata Chakra. Paravritta Thala, Sharangadeva defines this chari as one where the sole of the foot is upturned at the back and stretched outwards. Nupura Viddaka. With the feet crossed in swastika, one makes the rechita movements of the feet with the heels and the toes. Tiryanmukha. With the posture of Vardhamana, if the feet are made to slide rapidly to the right and the left, it is this chari. Marala. In the Nandyavarta posture of the feet, one makes rechita movements with the heel and foreparts, and then they are stretched forward. Karihasta. In this chari, the feet standing in samhata posture rub the ground with their sides. Kulirika. In the Nandyavarta posture of the feet, when slanting movement is made, it is called Kulirika. Vishlishta. If the feet in Parshni Vidyasthana are taken apart from each other and then made towards each other, it is called Vishlishta by the learned. Katara. In Katara, the Nandyavarta sthana feet are used to move backwards. Parshni Rechita. Standing in Parshni Parshvasthana, if the heel makes the Rechita movement, it becomes Parshni Rechita. Urudadita. Standing in the sthana of Ekapada, the foot is placed on the ground and made to strike the thighs one after the other. Uruveni. Here the thighs are in swastika, and from this crossed position the feet are made to stroke the ground with their sides. Talodvritta. When the toes move forward quickly, their back touching the ground, it is accepted as Talodvritta. Harinatrasika. The feet in Kunchita crossed in swastika with the front part of the soles bent. One should jump and land down on the ground. Ardhamandalika. Moving outwards while gently stroking the ground and returning to the original position is called Ardhamandalika chari. The movement is circular and slow as well in this. Tiryang Kunchita. Tirya Kunchita, the master of Karana, says that the bent foot when kept slanting is thrown out repeatedly. It is a distinct feature of this chari. Madalasa. The learned would call that chari as Madalasa, in which an intoxicated person is portrayed by keeping both the feet unsteadily without any direction here and there. Samcharita, where here one bent foot is thrown up repeatedly and it lands upon the other, whereby the latter is obliquely moved away. Utkunchita, one by one, both the Kunchita feet are placed forward after raising them. Stamba Kridanika, one foot is taken obliquely and the other dragged to touch it on the side by the sole, performed again and again. Langita Jangika, the posture of Kanda Sochistana is maintained. One foot is dragged and pulled up quickly by the other foot. Spurita, the sides of the feet which are touching the ground are used for sliding quickly. Avakunchita, the movement which is towards the back at equal intervals with the two kunchita or bent feet is avakunchita. Sangattita, in the Vishama Sochistana, one who is standing would jump and land on the ground with the stamping feet. Kutta, the toes are struck on the ground. Swastika, the swastika form which stands for crossed is assumed by the foot called as Swastika Deshi Chari. Taladarshini, in Samahatasthana, while standing, the feet move obliquely and in separation. They are made to touch the ground with the other sides. They are made to touch the ground with the outer sides. Puratika, the Nikuttana movement of the joint feet with the soles raised up and down reciprocally. Ardha Puratika, one Urdhrata foot makes the Nikuttana movement on another Urdhrata foot, and this is done one after the other alternately. Sarika, where one foot slithers smoothly forward. Spurika, 2 feet are in sama posture and made to glide forward. Nikuttika is a standing position on the foot with a bent toe. There is movement in the frieze. Latakshepa, after placing the foot back, it is made to stretch forward and Nikuttana is made on the ground. Adda Skhalitika, the obliquely kept feet are made to stumble in this. Samaskalitika, where the feet make stumbling movements to the front and the back at the same time and in a slanting fashion. While these Desi Charis are Bhavami, there are Akashiki Deshi Charis also, which are given in Shlokas 1001 to 1017. They are totally 19 in number. The first one is Vidyut Bhranta. The foot is thrown up to the front, moved around above the level of the forehead, quickly and placed on the ground. Purakshepa. The Kunchita foot is thrown up and stretched forward rapidly and then placed on the ground. Vikshepa is another variety where the foot is stretched towards the air and made to bend again and again, called Vikshepa by Sharangadeva. Coming to Harinapluta, jumping up with the bent foot and making it fall again and again is Harinapluta. Apakshepa, the outer side of the back of one thigh is touched by the other foot, which then moves to the region of the hips. Damari, the bent foot is moved in a circular fashion towards the left and the right sides. Dandapada, when the 2 feet are in swastika and thrown up obliquely, the doubtless one Sharangadeva, as he calls himself, names it as Dandapada. Angritadita. Angritadita, the 2 feet are stretched to jump up and the soles are made a clapping sound in the air. Jhanga Langhanika, a slightly bent foot is kicked in the air by the other foot. Alata, one foot is kept behind and crossed by the other in a fast movement. Janghavarta, when the sole of the foot moving inwards is thrown at the back of the knee and the sole of the foot moving outwards is thrown at its sides. Vesthana, also called Valana. Vesthana is when one foot encircles the other. Udvesthana. Udvesthana is done when the foot at the back is stretched out in front after doing Vesthana. Utkshepa, the learned called this chari as one where the bent foot is thrown forward and backward to reach the knee level. Prushtotkshepa. If the above chari is similarly done only backwards, it is called Prushtotkshepa. Suchika Chari, calling himself the favorite of Srikantha, Sharangadeva, defines the Suchi as placing one foot by the side of the thigh and stretching it forward in a pointing manner. Vidya, the 2 feet are in swastika, one is made to swing a little in front and the other is kept in kunchita. This movement is made to and fro. Pravrida, with the feet in urdhvrita, the movement is delicately performed in a turned fashion in this chari, as known by the life of the Lord of Love, that is Cupid, says Sharangadeva. Ullola Chari. The 2 feet are waved one after the other in the air. Hereby, we are able to see the valuable contribution of Sharangadeva in adding so many dimensions to charis based on provincial customs, and hence it is necessary to know the substance in the Nartana Adhyaya as important as the Natyashastra.